Oh, sweet. I think we finally got it to work, friends. I am technologically not great. Um, anyway, it's been a while, so welcome to the video. This is actually going to be a live stream. Just to brief you really quickly on what has happened. So I have a newsletter where I give away a PC every 6 months. And the person that actually received the giveaway this last time back in May or whatever it might have been. I don't remember when it was. Actually lived really close to me, so I was able to drop off the PC to them in person. And when I showed up, they actually gave me a bunch of PC stuff. Where did I put it all? I'm losing everything. I'm losing my mind. So they actually gave me a Ryzen 5 5500, which is right here, sealed. It's still sealed. They haven't even tried to use it or anything. A Gigabyte B550M motherboard. I imagine this is also probably unopened. I haven't even looked at it. Yeah, it looks pretty new and unopened. RAM. In this economy, RAM is RAM. It's 16 gigs of this very green DDR4. I believe it's 3200 megahertz mega transfers, whatever they say these days. I don't know. And then this really nice Okinos case back here. It looks like it's probably a micro ATX case, if I had to guess. It's not very large. So I thought that we would just hang out, take a stream, build it together, let you guys kind of pick some of the other components like the GPU that goes in there, potentially test some games. I am going to actually pull up the chat here. Hey, I'm going to put this off to the side to where I can actually see what you guys are saying. In fact, sounds like your phone microphone. No, it does really. Let me see if I can change that real quick. Let's see. Microphone. That is very unfortunate. Let me see if I change this, if it'll default to it. Okay, let's give that a shot. Is that any better? Hopefully it is. I don't know how I did it the last time. I swear I had the settings correct. Just trying to help, homie. Yeah, when you get closer to the camera, the audio got a lot better. Oh, that's the worst. I guess I'm just going to have to live with figuring out how to do it. Oh, it's better now. Okay, cool. So I just have to plug in the mic. Yeah, so we have these components. I'm just going to hang out with you guys, build it on stream, and also just some life updates. So if you guys are newer to the channel, you don't know who I am, I'm David. Build computers, try out graphics cards, push them, do weird things with them. But I recently had a kid, and I have a 2-year-old and a 2-month-old, and life has been really chaotic. So I thought I was going to be able to do more content, but honestly, I just don't have the time. Between that and running an actual business that provides food for my family, that needed a lot more attention because I was doing a lot of YouTube, and that's not making me very much money. In fact, I'm pretty far negative into it. But I really enjoyed YouTube, so I thought just doing a stream was less energy, less time, and I doubt it'll get a lot of views, but I still wanted a chance to hang out with all of you and just interact. So today we're going to put this thing together. I might have some time to test some games, I might not. I don't know what GPU we're going to put it in. I'll let you guys decide. So I guess let's go ahead and try that out. So I'm going to bring you guys over here. Probably move some of these lights so that it's not so bright on you guys. Make sure that it's not overwhelming. We might have to turn this one off. Is that pretty bad? We might just turn these off and turn on the regular light in here. That'll do. We can't complain about it. That'll do. Cool. So we're going to build this thing. And I'm going to lower this down a little bit so I can actually build it. I hope you all are having a very good day. It's been probably a month since I've built a PC. So this is going to be great. Buddy, are you giving me money? What are you doing? You know what? One of these times you're just going to have to come over and we're going to build a bunch of PCs. Maybe that's what we should do with the next one. You should just come over and we'll build a couple PCs and hang out and talk and see if people like that. I don't know if I'm still in the shot here. I might have needed to raise this or raise myself. I don't know. Whoops. Let's go up a little bit here. That'd be fun. That would be a good time. Oh, also, you guys, so I did want to kind of let you know, I am going to be building, or not building, but putting together the tournament finally for the 4790K. In fact, I'll show you guys that here real quick. So I've got this build that's been on hold for a while, this 4790K. So I've done some videos on it. I'm going to be hosting a rock, paper, scissors tournament for it, but I haven't figured out where to hold the event because it's too hot to do it outside, and I didn't want to pay a ton of money, but I found out at a community center here that I could host it for an hour and a half, and it'd be like, I think it was $70 or something like that, or no, 2 hours. 2 hours would be $70, which is very, very reasonable. It's not overpriced. So I'm gonna do that in the next probably month. I've got to get another SSD for that thing because I ended up putting the 2 terabyte into the giveaway PC just because that was easier. What comes with this? A SATA cable. Cool. So that will be in the next month. I'm actually going to give you guys the opportunity to come here to Oklahoma if you want and win that PC and compete in the tournament. So what I'm probably going to do is release a form. Hey, DXRTL, thank you, glad you're here. So I'm gonna release a form. Hopefully this crinkling isn't too loud. I'm gonna release a form on the newsletter for you guys. And if you wanna sign up, I'll give you the address. It's completely free. All you have to do is just come to Oklahoma and you have a chance at winning that. I'm gonna up this a little bit because you can't see my face. So yeah, all you have to do is just come to Oklahoma. It'll be at a community center. It's completely free. And we're just gonna hang out. I'm gonna host, that's so loud, sorry guys. I'm gonna host a rock, paper, scissors tournament, and the winner is going to come away with the 4790K. I believe I said I'm pairing it with the 2060. I can't remember. And I think, don't quote me on this because I'm probably gonna need to get some more money to make it actually happen. It's possible, if you guys are watching this, I might surprise the second place person with this PC. I'm not sure what parts yet. I know these things will be a part of it, but there's no way I'm keeping this because he gave this to me. So like, this isn't mine. I'm gonna give this away too. This is actually kind of a cool motherboard. I want to show you guys this. Yeah, it's not too bad. I like this heat sink here. This is like really big. The I/O shield, that's kind of fun. Unique little like Wi-Fi here. Huh. It's pretty light. All right, let's move this out of the way. So we're gonna open up this Ryzen 5 5500. I need to get a knife. Yeah, the VRM, they're huge, aren't they? I mean, that's a good size for this. I think I looked this up, and this wasn't the super cheap version of a motherboard, but it was a nice version. I've got to get a knife real quick, guys. So forgive me while I rumble and rummage around my disaster of an office. I should show you guys. I think I've showed you guys a couple times what it's like in my world, but yeah, I don't know. I lost it. We'll just open it up this way. Oh, forgive me, friends. I should just go get a pair of scissors or something. Okay, a knife would be much better. I am so far from a professional builder. If you guys want a high quality builder, talk to Buddy. Buddy eventually is gonna upload one of his videos on YouTube here. I can never find a blade in my studio and I have so many. Dude, so my father-in-law gave me a pocket knife that I've just kind of defaulted to using. I'm not a gun fan, but he is. It's a Winchester knife and I just don't know where it is. I don't know if we're gonna use the stock cooler. I might use an AM4 cooler I've already got. So if you've never built a PC, I'm probably not the best person in the world to learn from. But when you're building them, I'll kind of move some of this out of the way so I can show you guys. when you're building them, if you aren't familiar with like AM4, AM5, Intel, all that kind of stuff, you want to learn. You'll learn like over time if you build a lot of them, but if you've never built one, for this AM4 platform, you need to make sure that you pull up this bracket, this bar right here. And when you go to pull these out, it's really important to like, when you go to pull these out, I've learned the hard way, you want to take this part, pull it down, and then open it. Because if you try to open it up like this way, it's going to fall out the bottom. So just a piece of advice, like from lessons I've had to learn, like you can open it up this way and it might be okay, but I found that it's more likely to move. I prefer opening it up this way because there's more space for it to just stay in here. That's my personal preference. And then when you do like pull them out, make sure you're not like grabbing them in the middle, pull them out by the sides. On the AM4 platform, on pretty much all of them, there's usually a little arrow down here. I don't know what quality I'm in. If I'm in 1080p, 1440p, 4K, I really don't know, guys. There's a little arrow down here, and on the motherboards, when you go to install the CPU, there should be a little arrow on these for you as well. I think it's this way, actually. Isn't there? I thought, so these, I know these go down this way, but I thought the arrow was on the bottom. Oh no, these go up in the side. Okay, so I haven't built anything in so long. So you've seen this little triangle up here. Again, this is just if you're newer. That's where you want to match up this triangle on the CPU itself. So this CPU in particular has a triangle there. It's going to match there, and it'll go in this way. You're on mobile. Yeah, it might be bad quality. Sorry guys, this is just kind of the way I have to do it. So when you place it in there, you want to, again, match up that triangle with this triangle on the motherboard. Drop it in there, and if you feel like any kind of resistance, like it's not going in there, do not lower this latch, because you'll ruin your pins, you'll mess it up. But once you get it in there, place it down, good to go, pretty easy. Most of the time, if you're building a PC, you're going to go through 3 different steps. So you're going to go through the CPU. Also, another thing I should have mentioned is like the safest way, unless you have like a desk built for it, is to build a PC on the motherboard box or just some type of cardboard if you can. You see all these things on the back here. If you put this up on like a desk or a table of some kind, and when you push things in, you have to use a lot of force to install some of these things. You can bend it, you can break it, and your motherboard will be rendered useless. So on the cardboard, when you go to push on things, like it has some give, it'll push through, it won't break. Recently trying to change thermal paste on my 5600 and got stuck on the cooler. Oh, so I've had that happen a lot of times. When that happens, usually that's a sign that your computer's been getting too hot and your thermal paste is old. I don't know if I have a great solution to keep it from that. What I had to do when I had that happen was, one, let the CPU cool off for a while, and then if you take and wiggle it, like the CPU itself, wiggle it, like grab it from the sides and wiggle it off the cooler, that usually helps me the most. Motherboard box is S tier, gets it off the table, and the workbench, which doesn't hinder the seating the graphics card. See, I don't seat the graphics card until I've got it installed in there. But Buddy is way better. You guys, I'm telling you, as soon as he actually gets his channel up and going, I'm gonna recommend you guys go watch him. So next, you can go in whatever order you want. I'm gonna do the RAM. So as far as RAM, every iteration is different. So if you're doing AM4, AM5, Intel, whichever versions, you're gonna have a different version of it. Most people recommend that you do slots 2 and 4. Every motherboard is different. Some of them are gonna open up down here on the bottom and on the top. Oh, this one does. Some of them will only open up in one slot. Each motherboard is different. You kind of just have to figure out as you go, but you'll figure it out. You shouldn't be able to. I've had some people call me and tell me that they did get, I had a young man that had never done anything, bought a 5600X from me, and turns out that he'd installed his RAM wrong and it wasn't seated all the way in. But you'll get it as you go. Like when you go to slot this RAM in here, So it's obviously always going to be this part down here with, I forget what this is called, like the keys or something of that nature. You'll want to put it in both ends of this, and you can tell. So like I can tell here this is the wrong way, because whenever I go to put it in, one, it's not going to go in there. But two, this little hole, this little like nick right here, has to line up with this spot. I think you guys can see that. So that means I have to turn it around. It's going to end up facing this way. And you'll hear, let me see if I can get close for you. You'll hear a click if it goes in. So both of these sides here, let me get the camera closer for you guys. So this side and this side will close whenever you go in. So I'll get closer to it so you guys can hear it. There we go. Now, it does take a lot of force. Like, people get scared of that. I don't like these because these are flimsy and they don't have like, let me grab a different one for you guys. So usually RAM will come with like this cover, this casing here, and you can put a lot more force on it and not be worried. But these sticks don't have that. So they're really flimsy. So if you have RAM like this, you have to be careful. But most of the time, you're going to have like a cover like this, a protective. I think it's thermal for thermal reasons and for looks. But if you have that, it'll be easier. If you don't, these, you have to be really careful. Are they ADATA? No, they are Lee. I've never heard of this before. You've got a Ryzen 5 5500, honestly super slept on budget CPU. They have decent overclock potential. Have you had yours overclocked? I haven't tried. I don't really overclock on this channel just because I'm scared. It's not that I'm scared. People come here for budget options and I don't want to teach them something and then like they go out and do it and try to replicate it and it just breaks. So yeah, when you go to put RAM in, as I was saying, it takes a lot more force than you think. Like if you've never built a PC, you do have to push down pretty hard. And again, you'll hear the clicks. Oh, that was not a good one, but it did click. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so RAM is seated. I need a drink real quick, you guys. Had to take a fan off the stock Ryzen cooler once and put it in the oven to heat it up. What? No way. Yeah, the stock cooler is the hardest one for me too. This stock cooler is not good. So I don't know if we're going to install that on here or not. You have a couple options at this point. So when you're at this, oh, actually no we don't. We have to install the SSD. So again, the three that I always recommend that you do, just because it's going to make your life easiest. I assume this has an NVMe slot. You're going to do CPU, which I usually do first. You'll do RAM and then SSD. Oh, there it is, okay. Huh, this has a really weird. So the NVMe SSD goes in right here. I've never actually seen this. It's like a plastic. Buddy, maybe you've seen this before. I've never seen a motherboard like this. When you put the NVMe in, it goes in like this, and it slots in right here and then goes down. But it has this weird like handle thing here. I've never seen that before. You have to pull it out and turn it? That is crazy. Okay, cool. So I'll put that in. I'll bring you guys down so you can kind of see that too. See that? That's an easier way to install SSDs without screws. I've seen the ones where like you just pivot it and turn it, but I've never seen this thing here. This is strange to me. That is really, really weird. I've never seen one have like a cover thing. So if you've never installed one of these before, you take this part. There will be a hole in the bottom here, like that little nick, whatever you want to call it. You'll line that up so that Usually there should be a shield of some kind on the outside. It's not going to be this side that goes in. You'll find out when you try to do these things. Just don't jam things if they don't fit, because then you're going to make a mistake. Ow. Here we go. So when you go in, you're going to place it in here, insert it, and it'll hang out like this, which is fine. And then you just want to take it and push down, put some pressure on it. So this is a weird one, you guys. This is super odd. I've never seen this before. I don't know if I'm supposed to pull this plastic piece off or leave it on there. That is so strange. And then this goes back? What? No. Am I supposed to leave this on here or tear that off? I've never seen that. Normally if you have, hi, good morning, Reluctant. Normally if you have this kind of thing, you would just consult the user's manual that comes in the box. Like in this box, there's a user's manual, but I'm not going to do that because you guys are here, so you'll know that. But if you ever have questions, always look at the manual. Okay, so the first three things are done. It's a Gigabyte feature. I don't think I like it. I don't think I'm, oh, they do have a second one. Okay, so I have a secondary NVMe too, and it's got that there. That is, do you guys like that? I'm not a fan. You hope the plastic won't melt? Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. Okay, so those are the first three things. You know what? Why don't I just bring you guys down some? Feature is a strong term. So hopefully you can see me there. So those are the first three things I like to do: CPU, RAM, SSD. From there, it kind of is your preference. So if we were to do this stock cooler, I would probably do this next. And the reason is the stock cooler goes on, and if you're going to get a 5500 and you want to see this, I'll just kind of go through the steps so you know how to do it. The reason I would do the stock cooler first is because you don't really have to alter anything inside of the case, the cabling, but with some other things you do have to do that. So if you were to go and install this stock cooler, they're a little strange. I forget, I think it's this way. So the AMD, here's the other thing about these is like, it doesn't make sense the way they design these. You would think it installs like this, so when your computer is up like this, it says AMD. But that's not the correct way. The correct way that they actually install is sideways, like this. So AMD's on the side. I'm pretty sure that you can change this, if I'm not mistaken. You can go through, remove these screws. Oh, I forgot. They put thermal paste on these ahead of time. So when you do get these, they also do come with thermal paste applied of their own. Buddy, maybe some of you guys can chime in on this. I don't know if I would use this or not. You can. I probably wouldn't, just because usually whatever stock comes on here is probably going to be junk. But you can rotate the logo, but you need a Phillips head screwdriver. Yeah, that's what I thought. I think I've seen ZTT do it before. He does it all the time. Like he'll spray paint these, rotate them, and put them on there. But we're not going to use this, but I'm just going to show you just if you wanted to use it. And I think I have to move this anyway. So this is the default mount that comes with AM4 right here. I'm going to remove this just so you guys could see if you were using the AM4 cooler. Now here's the thing, like this thing is fine. You can use this. It's just your CPU is going to get hotter. Like it's rated, I think when I was running like Borderlands 4 and like Crimson Desert and stuff, we got into the 80s, which it's still rated to be fine. And I think at like 84, 85, it's good. It's just your room gets hot, the PC gets really hot. It's just uncomfortable. But if you want to use this, it's completely okay. It's just, if you have the money, just buy a cheap like air cooler or something. Like you can get better. So what you'll do is you'll just remove these. Stock cooler is fine as long as we're not overclocking and the case has decent airflow. If you had an extra $20 in the budget, grab a tower cooler. Yeah, see, like I'm the same way. If you have an extra $20, that's fine. The big thing is though, like if you're buying a Ryzen 5 5500, you probably aren't going to be spending a lot of money. So it's okay. Like, it gets the job done. Just don't, like, you will get better performance with an air cooler, with a $20 air cooler. So you'll remove both these sides. So when you unscrew it, this mount comes off, and you'll have this hole right here. If you were to want to place this on here, you'll just take sideways again. Either way, you can do this way or this way. It's fine. You'll just take it, place it on there, and screw these in. Now, what I recommend, and I always tell people, and I've seen this, when you go to mount something like this, you want to make sure that you're not screwing all the way down on this, and then all the way down on this, and then all the way down on this. I usually will go one side and then diagonal across, one side and diagonal across, and I'll just tighten it a little bit at a time, because if you do too much pressure on one side, it's possible that you can like break the CPU. Like, you'll put so much pressure here that you'll break this, or you'll bend some kind of pins on the motherboard behind it. It's just not a good idea. So I think what we're going to do, I'm going to leave this mount on here, and we're going to use a cooler that I've got, which is going to make this a little bit harder because I have to take it off of, oh, come on. Oh, I missed the hole. Whoops. Also, if you guys have never built a PC before, like, I hate troubleshooting. I hate having to do, like, it is not my strength. Some people live for that and they're like, oh, I like figuring out all the stuff. I hate it. If something goes wrong, like, I just want to give up. There's so many times I've made videos for you guys where, like, I'm 75% of the way done and I'm like ready to just quit. Okay, so we're actually going to use a different cooler, which is going to make life a little harder. I have to move this stuff out of the way real quick. So we're going to move this out of the way. Tightening pattern, also same story. If you ever need to take it off, do it evenly. Yes, yep. That's true too. So we're going to use this AM4 cooler here, which is going to make life a little harder. I think it's going to fit. I could be wrong. I think it's going to fit though. I'm going to clear out some space on this desk because I'm running out of room pretty fast. Again, if you want to use this stock cooler, it's okay. I probably would invest in $7 or so and get different thermal paste. You can use it. Everything is fine if you're going to use it. I'm just telling you things that, like, as you build PCs often, you might see or run into them. All right. What'd you guys say here? My laptop has a Ryzen 5 4600. Judging by how it's running, at 5500, it's going to be a beast. Also, I use Arch. I'm assuming that's probably a software, like it's not Windows or something. What case? This is the Okinos. It's a small, probably should scoot this back a little bit so you can see. Here, I'll move the camera so you guys can see it a little better. It's a small, I think it's probably a micro ATX case. It's really nice. I like it. And then it's got the buttons and stuff down here, the connections and things like that. Oh, it's even got USB-C. That's cool. So we're probably going to have to remove, I have no clue which one it is. I couldn't tell you. There's probably some paperwork in here that'll tell you. Or if there's somewhere I can identify like something on it. So we're going to take this out. I think it's probably better first, though, if I pull this off. So when it comes to a case, I recommend that you do a lot of these things and map them out ahead of time. Because if you don't, you'll end up doing what I do often, which is running into a problem. And then it's a pain to figure out how to resolve it. Most cases are going to be same. There's going to be 2 screws back here in the back. You pull those off, and then either you pull the case, like the glass part, back towards you and then out, or sometimes it's just like a panel thing here that you just pull out and it'll come off. Linux, the leading gaming system after Windows. SteamOS is basically Arch on beer. Okay. Yeah, I know a lot of people are transitioning to Linux. SteamOS, I've heard decent things about it. I saw a little bit about what Linus said. So because we're going to use this, this has to go mounted in the top. I actually don't know if this is going to fit. We might have to go with... I think it'll fit. So I think I'm going to move these fans down to the bottom. Now, I haven't been building PCs for a while, and sometimes I forget, so I'm not the greatest in the world at this. Airflow is something that's important. So we're going to take these two fans that are up here in the top, and I'm going to move them down here. I can't think of which way would be important. So this is out. If the fan is facing inward, that means that it's going to be pulling air out. Someone correct me if I'm wrong on this. And then if the fan is facing outward, so like if this Okinos right here was facing that way instead on the top, it'd be pulling cool air in. I think we might put these down and pull air in and leave this pulling air out. Does that make sense? I think that'd be okay. Is it supposed to go up to down or down to up? If it's the Aqua 3, it doesn't support a radiator mounted on type speaking. Oh, you know what? You're probably right, because it probably can't. Yeah, right. I don't know how to, I'm telling you guys. So I think you're probably right, buddy, because when I go to put that thing in here, it's going to be blocked. Like that cooler. There's not, yeah, I think you're right. There's not going to be enough room. So I think we're going to unfortunately have to use the stock cooler. Well, we're going to find out, guys. You're going to get to see here then firsthand how well that stock cooler runs. I'm glad you guys pointed that out or mentioned that. Oh, I just lost a screw somewhere. We'll find that later. All right, well, you know what, guys? You're going to get to see the stock cooler. So if you are purchasing a Ryzen 5 5500 and you go to use the stock cooler, this is exactly what it's going to end up looking like. I think we'll have enough time to perhaps run some thermals and stuff. I'm going to plug in my laptop here so I can keep reading chat. Also, I hope you're all having a good day. If you didn't get to hear, you know, life has been crazy for me. I just haven't been able to get videos out with a new one. I'm honestly getting anywhere from like 3 to 5 hours of sleep a night. It'll fit more in my room. That's a good one. The RAM itself is worth the entire set right now. Even this, when you use that case, you mount the top fans upside down under the graphics card. Oh no, I used that cooler upside down or like on the side once, and it sounds like it's gurgling. It's the grossest thing ever. So we are actually going to install the stock cooler. So if you do purchase it, like let's say you get, I have no idea what's going out as far as deals right now, what Newegg is running, if you're near, what's that super famous PC place that everyone buys stuff from. Guys, I'm so disconnected. Life is so challenging right now. One of you guys are going to say it, and I'm like, oh, that's the place. It's not Costco. That's obviously a normal person place, but it's, someone help me out. I'm forgetting here. This is what happens when you have kids. You don't sleep. Your brain just turns to mush. Okay, so we are going to install this. Not the cooler. I'm just saying move the top fans to the bottom. Oh. Really? Oh, Micro Center. Yeah, there it is, Micro Center. Huh, move them down there. Rip sleep, yes. So if we're actually just going to use this. I'm curious. If we turn it on and it's terrible, I've already got a fingerprint smudge in there. Whoops. So we're going to try it anyway. So if you go to install this, this also really helps if like you pay attention to your motherboard. So every motherboard is unique. It's going to have like a CPU fan connection. Some of them will have like an actual, I forget what they call the radiator connection. Wish we had a Micro Center closer than Dallas. I do too. So if you guys don't know, like both Buddy and I are in the Oklahoma area, and we have nothing. We've got nothing. I think Kansas might be the one closer to me, just because of where you are. I could be wrong. So we'll go back here to, it's important to understand like when you're putting these on, where the orientation for this connection is gonna go. It doesn't really make a huge difference here, but if I go to put it on like this side, I might have to do some cable management and scrunch it up for good looks. I don't care about that. I'm not an aesthetics person at all. But we're gonna put it on. So again, it's just gonna go, the cooler is gonna align with these screws here, and because it already has thermal paste on it, so I'll show you guys if you didn't have thermal paste applied, you would take something like this here, even though I've already got some on there, open it up, this is probably completely dried, and you would just put in a little line, a dot. So many people have so many different ways and so many different methods, but you would apply it yourself beforehand. And be careful to not do too little because then it'll overheat. Or if you do too much, your life will be a mess. I tend to do too much. That's just my fault. It looks like a big B550W motherboard. It's nice. It's got the VRMs. I think the plugins and everything are a little lacking. Like it probably doesn't even have any of the, see, this is how long I haven't done anything. Probably doesn't have any like the RGB stuff, if I'm guessing. BRG? Why is it BRG? I've never heard of BRG. So we'll go ahead and install this. Only has to line with mounting holes, not with your values. Yeah, that's a good one. So this one already has the thermal paste, as we saw. It already has the thermal paste on the bottom, so you just have to place it on here. So again, as Buddy mentioned this, I'm gonna mention it. When you go to tighten this down, also, see, I'm basic. I don't even have, this is literally an old screwdriver that's probably like 15 years old. I don't even have appropriate tools. So when you go to screw this in, just a little bit at a time, then you'll come to the other side, just a little bit, go over here. If you do too much, you really can break things. So we're just kind of going diagonal, and there will get to a point where you're going to put a lot more pressure than you think. Where is my LTT screwdriver? That goes towards rent and $70 baby formula that we have to buy twice a week right now. So yeah, that's where it all goes. So as you screw this down, there will be a point where like it gets pretty tight, and you'll kind of start to notice it. I think if I remember correctly, this particular stock cooler will like make a ratcheting sound when you go all the way down. I think. Maybe it's not. No, it's not. Okay, so I thought some of them did. Okay. Something also really important, I've done this before, if you guys don't know this. If you leave this on here and don't plug this in, your computer, your CPU will overheat. I've done it. It will happen. So when you go to plug this in, like I said, each motherboard is different. This one says CPU fan up here. You can see there are the grooves. That is going to line up on this side here, so I'll make sure that you can actually see it. So it plugs in right here. Voila, your CPU fan will now work. You only have one because my wife asked me. Yeah, that's how I am too. My wife spends all of her money. I don't buy anything. I actually bought the LTT screwdriver 2 years ago, overpriced, yes, but use it for everything. See, I think I would like it. I would probably be too lazy to learn all the features though. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. Okay, so we're here. This is probably good enough to get us into the motherboard. For experienced builders like Buddy, he will probably tell you, and some of you guys on here are probably really experienced as well, he will probably tell you, let me get a drink of water real quick while you guys are here. For experienced builders like Buddy, he will probably tell you that you want to make sure that the mounting spots are in alignment with your motherboard, which does matter. And that you don't want some where there's like not a hole, because then it can put pressure onto your motherboard, like when you go to push down on it. For me personally, I try to care and do that as well as I can, but I'm not the greatest at it. So when you go to line up the motherboard, I'll actually show you here. So this is, I believe this is a micro ATX motherboard. Is it not? So we have 1, 2, 3. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3. I'm just kind of going through it with you guys here really quick. So it is gonna go these top 3, and then these 3, and then I think we're missing one here. Are we? No, okay, so it only does those 2. So when you grab a motherboard, I might actually raise you guys up so you can see this part. Hold on, you're going up. You're going for a journey, friends. Because this is important to know, and you can definitely mess this up and waste a lot of money. All right, so when you go to install a motherboard, something that is important to note, it didn't do a lot, did it? We could probably raise this one too. There we go, okay. So when you go to do a motherboard, yep. So that's kind of what I'm trying to go over, is just prepping that. So when you, actually I probably should pull some of this out too, because he's probably got the, so usually when you buy a case, it will come with hardware. So this would be your mounting screws. Some of them, like these longer ones, I assume are for the fans, if you wanted to put in like additional fans. And it's probably for like the Okinos. Building a home lab server with an old B550. Okay, there you go. The bag came with 2 of the flimsiest, weakest zip ties. You love old hardware content. So when you go to install this, I think you guys should have a decent angle of this. I can try and get a little more above it for you. Here, we'll turn it this way. So when you go to install a motherboard, it's important that, who said that? Reluctant, yeah. 7,700, jeez. So when you go to install one of these, when you grab the motherboard, I'll show you guys here, you want to be careful of where you grab it. You really don't want to grab on this back side, because then you can, again, bend some of the pins, you can make some damage. Usually, if you have a beefy cooler, you can grab it by here. I wouldn't trust this stock one, so I'll just put my fingers on the sides like this and hold it like so. No damage. You shouldn't have any damage. And when you go to install it, you want to kind of place it gently in there. Now here's where you can kind of grab on the cooler, lower it in there. Now another thing, I should have mentioned this as well before I put this in here. If you have things that could potentially be in the way, so I probably should have done this before. If you have, let's make sure this doesn't move. If you have these and you know that they're going to get in the way of the graphics card, you need to remove them first. Because if you don't, when you try to remove those after, most of the time these are like push in and bend and take off. It's going to damage your motherboard and it's not going to come out. So check that. And then also, like, this came with a pre-installed I/O shield. You make sure you put the I/O shield in first as well. So when it goes in there, you should be able to tell that it's lined up. And one of those ways, I'll try and put this here for you guys. Maybe I need another light. I also don't want my head in the way. Oh, this does not fit super great, does it? It is getting some tension somewhere. Is that better? It is really important when you put these in that you don't want to like force things on top of screw holes. So you should be able to see this. I can kind of bring you guys in a little bit here, I think. So when you look at the screw holes, you should clearly see, like here, you can see the threading. You should see the threading on all the screws that you have, or the holes, so that you can actually put the screw in there. And if it's not in alignment, you could damage the motherboard like by forcing it in there. So please don't do that. I always forget the I/O shield. Yeah, yep. Oh, there you go, yeah, airflow. Oh wow, I completely jacked you guys up here. My bad. Pre-installed I/O shield should be standard by now, but sadly no. I like the 3.8. Yeah, I know you 3D print. It would generally be fine. Okay, here we go. After that, it's just kind of a boring process of screwing them in. Thankfully, this one comes with the correct screws. Now, I want to make mention of this, and maybe you guys have learned this at some point. Let me go grab my box of randomly assorted screws here. There are a few different sizes of screws that you'll see in the motherboard computer building space. And some of them are right and some of them are wrong. Generally, all of them for the motherboard are the same. So one thing that I want you to note, if you can't find the screws or it didn't come with screws or you bought a used one or something like that, I don't think I have any of them in here. Here we go. This type of, no, it's not even that. There's a type of screw that I would recommend you avoid because it's one, not gonna fit, and it can poke in and damage your stuff. Is this it? Yeah, that's probably it. So there's some that like come to like a point. I don't know if you guys can see that very well. It feels like the camera's getting all wild here. I might need to bring you guys down. Usually, why is this moving? You know what? I might have to bring you guys back down here because this is too much weight on it. Am I still gonna flip the fans? I didn't want to flip the fans. I think I'm just gonna leave it as it is. I think that that's probably too complicated. Like if someone were watching this video and they just wanted to build something, yeah. So like you can see like some of the sizes of the screws and things like that. Like they're just a little bit different here. I don't know how well you guys can see that if I don't drop them. You have to make sure that you get the right motherboard screw. Otherwise, it's not going to actually go all the way in, and it's not going to keep your motherboard secured. I've had PCs that I bought where they built and put in the wrong kind of screws, and it is a massive pain in the butt because it basically just gets kind of stuck and won't come out, and you have to put a lot of force into it to get it out. So be careful of that. All right, so when it comes to this part, this is pretty boring. That's not even the right screw, is it? Those aren't the right ones. What are these? Just random screws everywhere. This is definitely not the right. Is this the right one? You'll have to test too. Sometimes they'll be right, sometimes they'll be wrong. You'll feel it. It won't go in, or it'll be too tight. Yeah, that's not the right screw. It will not go in all the way if it's not right. Oh man, I missed the beginning. How's it going? Getting any sleep? No, I'm not. I would say, so my wife and I, see, so this is exactly what I was referring to. If you put the wrong screw in and it doesn't thread properly, you guys might not be able to see this because the camera's not on it, but come on, it will just get stuck. And it is very frustrating to get it out. I think I actually just took, oh no, I think I actually just took out the mount. I did. Wow. That is not fun. So here's troubleshooting 101. So this is actually the mount for the screw itself. Again, these kinds of things can happen to you regardless of how much experience you have. I'm gonna go ahead and set this down just because it can be on the stock cooler. And I'll probably have to unthread this with my hands. Gotta get the pliers. You think you have to get pliers for this? Oh man, you might be right. Oh man. All right, guys. Well, I guess you're gonna come with me. I don't have any pliers up here. There's gotta be something better than that. My hands are probably strong enough. Usually you do. Let's see if I can do it. Oh, that hurts. You might be right, buddy. Happens more than I'm proud to admit. See, here, a blowtorch. Buddy is Buddy, how many computers do you think you built? You know what, you guys, I need to tighten you a little bit, so hold on just a second here, because it is getting all wonky. All right, there we go. Buddy, how many computers do you think you've built? Probably 500 at this point. I'm sure it's got to be a lot. I don't have pliers up here either. Okay, well, I guess you guys are going to come with me real quick. You're going to get to see my home, my mess, all that kind of stuff. So hold on, we're going to go get some pliers. I have to make sure that I don't show you guys any crazy pertinent information about myself and all that kind of stuff, because, you know, most people are nice on the internet, but you never know. So you can come in here and we'll go grab some pliers real quick. Oh, there should be some in here. Those should do. Oh my gosh, those are so rusty. Look at how bad that is. Woo! Do I have any better ones? Probably do. Okay. Well, here we go. So back we go to the office. Also, you know, I don't know about you guys, but I live in Oklahoma, as I mentioned, and it is 100 degrees every day out here. It's not pleasant. It's not pleasant at all. I've mentioned to you guys at some points, like I've had some health issues, and heat is a really bad problem for me because of that. So I have not enjoyed it. I had some heat exhaustion problems not too long ago. Oh, I'm out of breath there. Okay, based on home layout and angle of sun, this is North Central Midwest. North Central Midwest. I'm in the South. You probably built 50. Oh my gosh, 50. I would say at this point I'm probably at. Okay, so I'm gonna attempt to do this with you guys. I've never done this before, so I'm hoping that I don't damage anything here. I've probably built. I don't even know at this point. Probably 25, 30. Oh, this is gonna go bad. Oh, there we go. Okay, okay. That's not as scary as I thought it was gonna be. So again, that goes to emphasize like it's really important that you make sure you have the right screw, because you saw what kind of pain that was. I had to take it out. Now I'm gonna have to remount it, put it back in there, all that kind of stuff. So when you're using the screw, you want to make sure that you have the right screws in there. Now I have to figure out where'd that come from? Is that the bottom? I think it was this one right here. Hi, Pixel. Okay. So that was the wrong screw. We're going to remount this thing. Get it in there with the IO shield. So when you go to put this in here, this has a built-in IO shield. I guess you can hold this, it's fine. It has a built-in IO shield. A lot of times they won't. If you buy a nicer motherboard, it will. I wish all of them did because it makes life so much easier. You just lower it in here, and then you just kind of scoot this into the fit right here. From there, you just want to make sure that all the screw holes are in alignment. They look good. And make sure you have the right screw. Again, if you don't, it's going to be a massive pain in the butt. Usually how you can tell, in my experience, is like the flat top looking ones are not right. The round ones are. You actually watched my RTX 2080 Ti video. You have that exact same model. You know what? I've actually sold that card since I purchased it or used that. Was that the EVGA one, I think? There we go. And if it's the right screw, it will properly thread in there and you're not gonna have any issues with it. So keep that in mind when you're doing it. Like if you're having to force it, it's not the right screw. I don't know if this one came with enough screws for this hardware. Now I'm going to tell you guys, it was the EVGA. Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys something that's a massive, massive pain in the butt, where a screwdriver like this does suck and like an LTT one is better. When you go to place in, there's a mount right over here that you have to screw in. If you do not have a magnetic one, it sucks because this is really hard to get in, and it's like super possible and probable that you're going to drop this screw somewhere in the motherboard. Almost guarantee it. So I'm actually going to put all the other screws in first and then come back to the harder ones in case I have to like shake it to get the screws out, which some of you guys might say, you've never done that, you're not that kind of builder, you've never had that problem. That's great, and I'm really proud of you, but I make a lot of mistakes, so I'm just preemptively preparing that I'm going to mess it up. This might not actually not have all the screws I need. Oh, it does. Same, it's true in real life lesson. Yeah, it's PC building is, I think, Buddy, you said it. It's kind of like being an adult building Legos. It's basically the same thing. Like, every PC is just slightly different, and you're going to learn something all the time. I think that everyone is saying this is the Aqua 3. So, Pixel, what happened was, I have a newsletter where I give PCs away, and I went to go, so the person that won it, oh no, it happened. The person that won the giveaway PC actually lived close enough to me that I went to deliver it to them in person. And when I showed up, they had all this stuff to give to me. Like, they literally gave me a 5500, 16 gigs of RAM, this case, this B550M motherboard. So now I'm like, I'm not keeping this. I'm doing this to build it on stream and everything, but I'm probably going to give this away at some point. I haven't figured out how, but I'm probably going to give it away because I'm not going to keep something that someone gave me. All right, so we almost have all of them in. And I'm going to say this, and please choose to listen to me or not listen to me, guys. If you don't put all of those in there, if you don't put all the screws in the mounts, it's not that big of a deal. Some people are going to argue with me. Some people will say that's dumb. You should, but if you only had 6 of the 8, you're probably fine. All right, so we've got one more on the bottom and then one more on the top. Yep, I am the worst at this. Oh, PC building is tough, you guys. But here's the thing, is like, I am privileged, and I always have to remind myself whenever I start getting frustrated, like, I am privileged to be putting together an X amount of PCs. Give it away now. So I'm very privileged. Let me show you guys really quickly. Like, I'm very privileged to be giving away PCs, having them. Like, look, I'm giving this one away, the 4790K. This is the 9600X. That is my daily PC. Over there is another Ryzen 5 5500. So like, I'm very, very blessed to be complaining about giving something away or like building a PC or struggling with this. I'm okay with that. I have to remind myself sometimes, like, a lot of the behind the scenes that you guys don't get to do. Thank you, Azure. That's probably, I don't know how to say it. I have to remind myself a lot of times, like when I'm doing these kinds of things and getting frustrated, like, these are good problems to have. So, all right, I'm gonna try to get this last one in here. I might not do that one, you guys. I'm gonna be honest with you. And there's some screws in the bottom. Okay, so I have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've done 7 out of the 8, and I don't have the top one. I don't think it's going anywhere. So I'll show you guys what we have here. So as we mentioned, we have the cooler mounted, the CPU's underneath. That's the Ryzen 5 5500. For now, I'm just using this. That's weird. That moves a lot more than I thought it would. This is a 0.5 terabyte Gen 4 NVMe. 16 gigs of RAM. I'm actually going to let you guys pick. Every version of my name is right. That's what makes it so unique. I'm going to let you guys pick. So we have a couple different graphics cards that you guys can choose from. I think I have time to power this up and test it a little bit before my wife starts yelling at me that it's time for lunch and all that. So do you guys want to see it with 1660 Super? Do you want to see it with a 2060? Do you want to see it with an RX 580? Do you want to see it with a 3060 Ti? Or it's not out of my PC, it's my daily use. It would be a pain in the butt to make it work, but if you guys want it, do you want to see it with, this 9070 XT? Oh, I can't do it. Here, let me pull you guys out real quick. Do you guys want to see it with the 9070 XT? If you like the 2060, it fills it out better. 1660 Super 2. Well, yeah, that's because the 1660 Super came from you, buddy. If you guys don't know, Buddy's my hookup. 3060 or 9070? 3060 or 9070? Okay, how many votes do we have here so far? NVMe is good enough for the setup. 1660 Super would be my best bet. So 2060, 2060, 1660 Super, 2060. All right, I think there's probably enough people that we're going to go with the 2060. 3060 and the 2060 are pretty similar. Your heavy gaming lifestyle began on 1080 Super, 1650 and 1660. Hook up for everything except for DDR5. RIP. Yeah, I forgot that when we first met, you never had DDR5. That's what I wanted. So it's funny, Buddy and I met. I had posted for sale. I had something for sale. Here, I'll move you guys up to me real quick. So I had something for sale on Marketplace. I had a sound system. I moved from a house that had surround sound. The new one I moved into didn't have it anymore. And I put it up there, and he reached out to me. He's like, would you take this amount for it? And I don't remember what it was, but I was like, thinking in my head, I don't know, because I don't know how much I want. I knew what it was worth, but I didn't really care about the money. And then I looked at his profile and said he did like a lot of PC flipping and selling and stuff. And I was like, well, I see you like PCs. How about we work out a deal? And then from there, you know, I got some stuff from him. He got the sounds, the surround sound, it's the equipment. We just kind of trade back and forth, and whatever each other needs, we just show up and like, hey, you want this? And bonded over that. So it's pretty cool. So if you like PCs, you can make friends. I'm seeing a lot of the 2060 or the 3060 Ti. If I had time, I think I would do both, but I think let's do the 2060 because this is all black and I think it's going to fit the aesthetics well. Okay. So we'll do the 2060. So here's what I'm going to tell you guys in my experience. And some people will agree with me, some people will disagree. Everyone's going to have their opinions. You can, you know, think of it however you want. Some people are right, some people are wrong. I don't think there's a right or wrong way. When you go to install a graphics card, some people will stand it up and they'll put their graphics card in like this. I don't recommend doing that. Personally, so here's why. When you go to do that, I need to lower this again so you guys can see the PC. When you go to do that, I think this is what, the PCIe? Yeah, that's what it's called, PCIe. So when you go to do that and you push this graphics card in there, before you screw it in over here, there's a chance that it could snap that card off. I don't like that. This card isn't very heavy, the 2060, so you can probably get away with that. So I will almost always lean it over and install it. But if you're on this video, you've never installed one before, you're kind of learning how to build a PC, all that kind of stuff, I'll show you up like this without actually doing it, just so you can understand. So when you install it, there's something called a PCIe slot. There may be a couple of them in there. And if you've never built a PC before, I'll actually bring, oh, geez, whoops. I'll bring you guys in a little bit closer here. So this is called a PCIe slot. It has this place where you put in the GPU itself, and then this snaps in so that you can lock it in there. There's also an additional one down here. What happens in motherboards is there are lane devotions, essentially. So you can read them on here. I'm pretty sure it says very, very small. Maybe you guys can see this. In this corner over here, this says PCIe X16. That means that there's 16 lanes. I think that's the correct term for it. And then the other one down here, it doesn't, I can't even read it. PCIe X4. Okay, so that means that it's using 4 lanes. 2 problems. If you accidentally install it here, it might not fit, and you're gonna have to take out these brackets. So pay attention to that. But also if you install it here, you're not gonna get the full speed out of it because I think this is a 16. I'm fairly positive it is. Buddy might be able to tell you guys, he's smarter than I am, but I'm fairly positive that almost everything that comes out at this point is like 16. So when you go to install it in the top slot, which is where you should go, like Buddy said, always go with the top, unless there's some confusion or whatever. All you do is take and place it into the holes Oh, yeah, I guess I should probably do that part too. So before you can even do that, you have to remove this part here, or at least pull it up, because every graphics card has this part right here. This is what goes out and allows you to screw into the case itself. So when you go to place this in there, if that hole right here isn't open, it won't fit. So that being said, you want to slot this in here, and you can tell, like, it'll go in there, and this part, this bracket does have to be open as well. You'll just place it in there, and then you'll push in, and you'll hear a click most of the time. Sometimes you won't. Oh, I have to remove this screw because it's in the way. I might just leave it this way and advise you guys to do it laying down, but this card isn't that heavy, and I just want to show you guys, like, if you were doing it, if it was laying down. So you're just going to place it in here, push it into the slot, and that will snap in. Now here's where I was saying, like, it's not great, because you see how it moves around here? This is a 2060, so it's not too bad. But if this was like, so Buddy, he can attest to this. The 3080 that I used to have, and now he's got, I don't know if he sold it or not, weighed like 4 pounds. Like, it was ridiculous. It was this thick. You guys have seen it on the video before. It was like this thick, this long. It was just a massive card. And if you try to do that with that card, it'll break. And then what you want to do is line up these holes here. So I think you guys might be able to see this. I might need to bring you a little closer. The sag is unreal. Yes, the sag will break your card. So you want to line up right in there. You see those holes? You want to make sure that you line those up so that you can place the screw in appropriately. All right, so we're going to go ahead. I'm actually going to bring you guys back down some. There we go. Okay, so you need to find screws for this part. So again, I would recommend doing this laying down. I have a pretty chunky 3070. The sag was concerning, so I bought a retention bracket. Yeah, retention bracket would be a great thing to have. You can do sags, that kind of stuff. I mean, all of them are fine. For these parts, really, I found that almost every screw works. It really doesn't matter. If you're aesthetically caring, which I am not, that can matter. And so this is also where it becomes easier, like if this is laying down. When you're trying to install this upwards, you have to move this some so that it'll actually fit to the holes. When you've got it laying down, it's much easier, and it'll pretty much just stay in place for you. So that's another reason I like to do it that way. Also, my daughter and wife and son just got home, so there's a very strong chance that you guys are about to get to see my 2-year-old come up here. This one doesn't fit very well. I'm not loving this. I'm gonna have to take this screw out. Cheap adjustable GPU support on Amazon is good. Also, you have a 3D printer. See, 3D printing is a completely different hobby though, buddy. You're describing something that your average person probably doesn't do or hasn't gotten into. I'm just gonna pull this all the way off. See, that's a completely separate hobby. So someone would have to be into that already. Wow, this one doesn't line up very well, does it? I am not enjoying how this 2060 is fitting in here. I don't understand why. It is so tight. Oh, you're probably just getting my head. Sorry, guys. Let's do another screw real quick. I would always recommend putting in both screws. Again, some things you can kind of take shortcuts on. Some people don't care. Okay, so now we have the GPU installed. I'm gonna go ahead and put this thing back in. So the purpose of this thing is just so that it can close and kind of reinforce that, but it's whatever. It's not that big of a deal. Oh no, I lost. No, that should work, okay. Cool. Meanwhile, that one Raspberry Pi Zero. Some cheap cases also might have creative slot sizes, so make sure your display outputs aren't being blocked. That's a good point. Yeah, that's a very good point, because yeah, that I've run into that before where some of them are like tough to see. So yeah, at this point, Dio is correct. Your GPU slots should be available. This one, you know, has 4 different slots. So at this point, that's pretty much everything that happens with just the PC itself. You'd love to get into 3D printing, but I don't have the space to set it up right now. You know what? I've heard it's not actually as expensive as I thought it might be. Now for the part that I personally like the least, which is cables. I hate it, but we're gonna do it. So you can go about this multiple ways. It also depends on the type of PC that you bought. Oh, interesting. Okay. So we're probably gonna pull this back off. I think we're just gonna get through the build and turn it on today. I don't know that we'll be able to run it. You want to get into 3D printing, made a list of things I want to make that fix things around the house. I've heard that it can be really convenient to 3D print. Oh, it looks like some of this is already done. Cool. So when you pull the back off, some things that you're going to notice, a lot of times they'll have this, someone help me out here, I'm blanking. It's been a few months since I've done this. Control. This is the fan control center, right? So this will basically plug into all the fans and it'll be a central spot so that you don't have to take and plug into like 3 different places on this motherboard. So they've already kind of taken care of a lot of that for us. And I'm assuming that this one cable here, yep. So when you look at the cables, you can tell based off of like how many slots it has or holes, if it's an addressable RGB or if it's just like power or RGB. 3D printing, man, you guys are on the 3D printing there. So I've got to figure out which one this goes into. So if you've never done that before, this is kind of where it gets to be kind of frustrating. I'll take you guys in here really quick. So this is where it becomes challenging. With this particular fan RGB hub, yep. So with this particular one, this is the 3 slot, which should be an ARGB cable. It has to go into one that lines up with it. And this, you guys can possibly see that. This has 3 pins, so that's the one that you know is going to line up with it. Again, if you ever have questions or like curious, don't understand, you're always able to just read the manual, and the manual will tell you, but I'm lazy and would rather frustrate myself and do it that way than go and read a manual. Now, one thing I can tell you, and I had to learn this the hard way whenever I first started building PCs, you do need to be really careful when you are like placing these kinds of things onto the pins, because if you move them or bend them too much, it will break. All right, so we're gonna try and get this on here. And don't force it on if it doesn't go on. Okay, so it's on. Even when it is on, like it'll still move and bend quite a bit. You might not even need to plug that in. It's possible, but I think the way they have it set up, because it's running right here, I think it's going in. I mean, you might be right. I might not need to. I think it is. I think it does need to. So then all the other cables are important to remember, recognize, know. Oh, you know what? I do need it because this has to go into a SATA. Okay. So the one that gets most people, and I tried so hard to look for solid, like, you know what, you guys, let me say this. If anyone in here wants to be amazing when this video comes out and like actually timestamp stuff just for other people, you can, because I would highly recommend, I've tried to look this up so many times, like the configuration for this is so confusing. So these go in, these are the headers? I forget. So these go in up here on the front. I should have installed this graphics card second. See guys, these are all things to learn and remember. Read the flipping manual. I should have installed the graphics card second because this part is really hard. So I probably would have recommended to go in and, oh man, this thing is a pain in the butt. This screw is like in the worst spot possible. So you will run into this. If you guys have never built a PC before, every build is different. What was that? Every time you're going to learn something new. So it's all just a process that you're going to go through. Also, when you remove a graphics card, if you ever remove a graphics card, I have felt this, and maybe some of you guys can resonate with this. Every single time you do it, it's going to feel like you're probably going to break it. I adjusted my last job was the one writing all the manuals to have no one read them. That's the worst, isn't it? Okay, so what is that one to? Oh, that's the power button. Okay, so again, these things are very confusing. I wish that someone had a better explanation for them. But for the headers here, I'm going to give you guys the best that I know and tell you or screw it up, I'm not sure. But I'm going to tell you the best that I know here. Oh, that needs to go into a fan. So also when you're going to place cables into the motherboard, it's important to know where you want it to go and where it's going to happen. Because if I were to take these same cables and push them through up here, one, they might not fit, and that's also ugly. Two, it just doesn't make sense. There are holes in a lot of different places and cases specifically made to go to the spot you want it to. So as far as these go, you should always have 5 different ones, I guess. Four. So you'll have power LED or HED LED, and then power switch. Sometimes you'll have a reset switch. The LED switch is plugged back here into, so normally this one will also go into the headers up there. That one is plugged back in the controller back here, so you don't have to worry about it. Some cases have one solid front panel connector. Those are nice. So yes, you're correct. Reluctant is right. Every case, every motherboard is going to go the same way. So when you're looking at it, you can kind of see the diagram on there. Usually they'll have it. Does this one have it? It does not. Oh wait, it does. It does. HDD, power. So you guys will have to forgive me because it's been a while since I've done this. It's the power goes... Now I might have to look this up because I've forgotten it. So the LED switch is plugged into the controller. The power LED goes into the bottom, if I'm not mistaken, and it goes positive and then negative. Right? Is that right? It should go positive and negative. Power is pins 3 and 4 on top. Oh, see, Buddy's right here. So the power LED, so you can tell there are little labels on here. I think you guys might be able to see that. Power LED plus. You guys might not be able to see that. There's going to be a plus and a minus on it. Buddy is correct. So thank you, my friend. Again, if you haven't done it in a while, it's pretty easy to forget these. Reset is 2 pins directly under. So it goes plus. These are also very hard and come out very easily, you guys. So if you ever have to move things around or shift, just know that you're most likely going to accidentally unplug them. And then this one, some people in here probably have better methods of putting these in here. Better, smarter, whatever it is. Reset is 2 pins directly under. Power is pins, oh, you said power is pins 3 and 4 on top. Whoops. So the power goes, yeah, that's right. That goes up there. And then doesn't the LED go on the bottom left? It's the bottom left, right? Reset switch. I'm in the morning. Reset RGB controller to switch controllers on the fly. Oh, that's interesting. A less is more kind of person with RGB. Everybody's got their preferences. I think the LED goes in the bottom on the left corner, if I'm not mistaken. We'll find out, or one of you guys will tell me I'm wrong here. With these two also, you can bunch them up, and you can try and plug them in that way. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. Sometimes it won't. Yeah, I might not get away with this one. Okay, well, that one went in. Now, oh, I unplugged it. And also, if you've never built power LED or HD, it's power LED. Oh, wait. Yeah, that goes on the other side, doesn't it? You're right. That goes on the bottom. On the bottom, which ones? Top left pins 1 and 2 are usually power LED. Oh, okay. See, Buddy knows more than I do. I would have had to look this up because I haven't done it in a while. Yeah, he's right. That's what it says on there. Again, consult the manual, look it up, or just remember it because, like I said, I haven't done it in a while. I almost always have to look it up if I haven't been doing it weekly. Bottom 1 and 2 are usually HDD. Okay, so now that all those are plugged in, a lot of times you want to like pull the cables a little tighter so that you can't see it. Next, we should have, this is USB, right? So, oh, sorry, get my head out of the way. So USB should go right here. And this one I think can just go in either way. It's pretty standard with later Mobos. Thank goodness. Yes, yeah, that is true. Okay, we have HD audio. So that cable looks like this. Usually HD audio, so there will be 1 pin missing here. Usually HD audio will be located somewhere on like the bottom left somewhere. And you can tell pretty quickly because there will be 1 pin missing on the motherboard. I don't know if you guys can see that well, but that's like how you can tell it's the HDD audio. And it'll also like state it. I know that this is tougher for you guys because I can't zoom in very well. So it might be a boring, less engaging part, but these are things that, like, especially if someone's newer, would probably want to know. All right, so HDD audio. I think the last thing we have, oh wait, that wasn't the USB. What is that one? That is, what is this cable for? What is that one for? You probably know, buddy. I can't remember. It used to be Wild West. You had to read the manual with every single board. That's probably true. This should be the USB. So then you'll also have a cable that looks like this. And that should be, you know what, you guys, I've done it so many times, sometimes I just forget the names. This should be the USB, right? Where does this one go in? USB-C maybe? Yeah, that's right. Sometimes they're weird places. So where is the USB on this one? Oh, it's down here. Okay. And every motherboard is going to be different. Usually they'll be in the same spot. Like most of the time USB is over here, but this motherboard has it down there. Oh, that's going to bend really weird. Oh, I don't like that. Not a fan. And here's a trick that I can help you guys with. This thing goes into that thing. Yeah, exactly. So if you have a cable that's kind of more difficult to plug in, what I like to do is just take my hand and place it like on the back here where the motherboard is not, where it's just the case, and hold it and push this in. And don't try to push too hard, but just push a little bit so that it doesn't like, if you do it without holding that down, you might bend something or ruin it. That's just my experience. Fantex cases are very cable friendly. I don't think I've ever used Fantex. I think that should be everything that we've got as far as the case goes. The last one's gonna be this SATA cable. Oh wait, we do have a fan cable. So we've also got a fan cable here. The way that you can tell that is fan cables will usually have 3. So this is our fan connector. So we have to figure out where we're gonna plug that in. I'm assuming it's gonna be up here in the top. Or somewhere down here. It'll usually say CPU, or it'll say system fan. Is that system fan? Yeah, we could potentially fit there. Is this a system fan up here too? This one might be okay, but that says BRG 12 volt. I don't think that'll work. I might have to loosen this up some to get this out. Oh, that's down here. Some cases mirror the USB 3 and USB-C to the same USB 3 header, and it's so nice. Yeah, you'll learn with time, like things do different things. So system fan, we'll go down here, plug that in. All right, so the last thing that we've got is this SATA cable. If you're not familiar with what SATA does, this goes into the power supply and it powers this controller hub. So when you plug that in, like let's say we hook up the power supply and we put everything together, we turn the PC on, and for some reason the fans aren't powering, they're not lighting up, a lot of times it's gonna be this. So just to remember. So that pretty much sets us up here. I'm gonna go ahead and put the graphics card back in really quick. And then from there, we should be able to put the power supply in and turn it on. I'm not gonna cable manage it because it's a pain. I don't want to do that, but we are going to turn it on just to get it started. If you guys would like, maybe I'll do another stream where we test it. I'll do the 2060 and the 3060 Ti. Yeah, maybe we'll do that and, you know, just run through some things. But I'm going to go ahead and put this 2060 back in here really quick. I do hope that you guys are all having a good day so far. I'm surprised I haven't been yelled at because my wife has been home for probably 15, 20 minutes now. She's probably like, why aren't you making lunch? Or, I mean, lunch is already made, but she's probably like, why aren't you coming down here? So, you know, if you guys are married, you understand. You understand. Did we talk about what power supply we're putting in this bad boy? Lunch break there. There you go. Yeah, I'm getting hungry too. I meant to start the stream like 45 minutes earlier, but I was having the hardest time with YouTube. I don't really do YouTube. I used to stream on Twitch many years ago. I think we're gonna do a 750 watt. What do I have over here? 850 watt. Yeah, I think I have an 850 watt that I'm just gonna put in there because that's what I have hanging around. Okay, so I gotta put this thing back in. Yeah, I never really streamed on YouTube. I did on Twitch, but didn't really go anywhere. And back then I was playing PUBG, Fortnite. If you guys don't know, I was really good at PUBG. I was actually really good at Fortnite too. But those days are over. I'm old, I'm washed up. And now, if I play any video games at all, it's like League of Legends or whatever I test out for you guys. So that's pretty much my life. I'm gonna put all these screws away real quick. This is turning out to look pretty good though. I mean, outside of the green, which, you know, is whatever, and this thing, you know, we could probably tie it or, you know, cinch it up. I'm not gonna do that, but those are some things you could do. Currently at the movies with your kids, it's free movie day where they play old movies, so I'd rather be here. Oh man, what did we take our daughter to see last? I mean, we took her to see Toy Story 5. I think I told you about that. I don't know. Oh, she saw Minions and Monsters. Best time to try Warframe. Come on up. Let's have some fun again. I have a separate old PC just for League because I don't want it on my primary PC. Because you're going to play it too much? Is that why? Okay, so as far as the power supply goes, it's generally going to be pretty standard. You have a couple different options with power supplies. This particular option is a modular. So when you buy them, they're going to be one of three things, to my knowledge. There may be more, but I don't know. So there's modular, which means if it's fully modular, that you can unplug and plug in. Oh, these are very in there. The cables and pick what goes in there. Semi-modular usually means it comes with the standards that are needed, which I believe is the 24-pin. You'll have the CPU, PCI CPU, and then you'll also have the PCIe, which is for the GPU. But then, what I do, fully and then non-modular is the cables are plugged in. You can't take them out. You can't add any. You heard that was good. I didn't get to watch it. She went with her cousins and stuff. So when you go to plug in the power supply, you'll generally want to put it in so that, help me out here, guys. Again, I haven't done this in a minute. Is it down? It's down, right? Down. Am I losing my mind here? The fan goes down so that it pulls air in. Is that right, guys? So usually you want to go down. Is that correct? Mostly for anti-cheat software. Oh, yeah. So, no, that's not right, is it? It's up. Am I losing my mind here? How do you guys do it? I guess there's not a right or a wrong answer, but some people do prefer it a certain way. It is down. It is down. So for this particular case, you'll slide this in here, and it can be kind of a pain in the butt to get them in. When you get it in, you'll line it up with the holes. So you can see here, it's lined up, and you'll just screw it in. You should have a couple cables or screws to fit that. Usually down. Some situations you would place it facing up, but down usually. Yeah, I think down is the way, because then it pulls air in, if I'm not mistaken. I could be making that up. I might be completely talking out of my butt here. I don't think these screws will go in there, will they? Yeah, those should be okay. You can just place it and did a Hail Mary crazy, I know. Unpopular opinion, but I like the standard non-modular ones myself. Never lose the cables. You know, I think that people think that modular is more important because you can get things in there easier, apparently, but I don't think I've ever unplugged or plugged in a power supply cable. I don't think I've ever added, I've never modulated any of them in any way whatsoever. I probably should have used bigger screws for this, but oh well. I think that's going in there, right? That is not a big enough screw. Come on out of there, little guy. And here's the thing, like, about PC building is I've used these screws. These are round ones that you would use for the motherboard. This one and this one. And now I'm about to use this square, more flat top one. All of them work fine. Never had to make your own cables, but I need to learn, I suppose. Huh. I mean, I guess that would avoid the warranty, but if you're doing that, you probably don't care about the warranty. If you're in the situation that you're making your own cables. As long as everything is replaceable and keep the ship of Theseus alive, that's it. There you go. Okay, so when it comes to all this, this is kind of where the nightmare begins and ends. If you've done it enough times, now this is one that I can say I remember and remember well. There are lessons for cable management. I'm not the guy to teach you that. I'm not the guy that's going to make it pretty for you or make it look really good. I'm the guy that's going to get it running, and that's all I can do. I could try my hardest, but there are people that are so much more talented than that. Buddy's a great example. As soon as he gets some PC YouTube stuff out, you guys are going to watch him. It's going to be good. I've seen some of it already. He won't finish it, though. Maybe this is motivation for him. But when you do these, it's really important to have like a mental plan of where they're going to go, how you're going to run them, and what's going to make it easiest for you, especially if you have to open this thing back up. Because if you do, it can be a nightmare to replace things or fix it or whatever that might be. So this one here is the 24 pin. This is the motherboard power supply. This can only go in one way, and you'll kind of see here, I'll show you that it's almost always going to be up here in the center, somewhere in the center of the motherboard. And I try to just slot it through whatever hole is there. Now, you might think that when you place this in, you can tell based off of the holes, and I'll show you guys here. So you can tell based off of which way the holes are facing and the shape of it, like how it's supposed to plug in. A trick that I've learned to keep this part I actually do care about a little bit, like to keep it looking nice and tight. I know I'm juxtaposing what I just said there and clashing with it, but when you go to plug it in, I like this part on the inside, and then you flip it and plug it in. And again, you can use your hand on the back of the case, plug it in, and you have to make sure that this goes all the way in, because if you don't, it won't power. And then I like to just pull this a little tight. There are people that'll do this way better, but I think that that's one, it just keeps things out of the way, and it does look a little more clean. Like, you can try to do it other ways, but that's what I found personally to be best. Next up, so we have the GPU power supply. Depends on your graphics card how many of these you actually need. This one is going to run basically through whatever hole is the best, but a lot of times it's going to be down here, like in one of these brackets. So this is an 8-pin, and depending on your graphics card as well, it varies like how many of these you need. That's why sometimes the modular ones, so this is the same cable. It comes with two 8-pins, but the 9070 XT I have requires 3. So I needed a power supply that had the ability to have an additional cable that's going to hold another 2 so I can plug in 3. This one only takes one 8-pin. So I'm going to run that through here. There are extensions, there are things to make it a lot prettier. You know, if you're like a professional builder, those are things you'll learn and you can do, and you can take all the time for that. I'm not going to do that or show you guys that. Shy, that's okay. That's not a bad thing. Okay, next one, and here is where I've learned the hard way. It's okay because we have the stock cooler on here, so it's not such a big deal. This is a CPU power supply. It's kind of like the same thing as an 8-pin down here for the GPU or the GPU power supply part. This goes into the top corner. Every single motherboard that I've seen, some of them may be different, but all of them that I've seen, it goes up here in the top left corner. It goes through a hole, a very small opening. You guys might not be able to see this. There's a very small opening. Maybe you can see my finger poking through this. I'm gonna get that stuck. Can you guys see that? Oh, that is tiny. Oh yeah, you can see that on there. So it's a very, very, very small hole. And if you were to go to put on a liquid cooler, a bigger fan cooler, you know, air cooler, this is gonna have a really hard time because it's gonna get blocked by something there. So when you are building these, you wanna keep that in mind that like, you might have to put the power supply on before, or you're gonna have to put this on like at the end. If it's, because I've had that happen, or like whenever I'm changing GPUs out and I have to put a new power supply in, like it's a massive pain in the butt. So keep that in mind. Again, these are all things you'll learn if you do it a lot. But that'll go through this tiny hole up here. And then there is a bracket, or not a bracket, a slot that it goes into. Sometimes if you have a fancy motherboard that can be overclocked, it'll have 2 pins. This one does not, and also the 5500 doesn't need it, or probably doesn't need it. Some people have said that they were doing that before. So we're gonna plug that in up here. Now if you can't see, sometimes it's nice to have a flashlight because this part is really difficult. I'm gonna actually move this over here so I can potentially get a better angle on it. Some of these things are difficult, even if you've done it several times. And sometimes I'm the worst about this. It's literally just when you find it, it'll go in. I know that's terrible, but oh my goodness. I feel like the VRMs are blocking this. I know it's not. Come on. Where are we at, guys? Am I plugging this in wrong? No. It's like on top of the VRMs and just does not fit in there right. Things you will learn as you do this. My papa would say you got to hold your mouth right. It's like stuck. I don't understand. This giant encasing thing is like blocking this from going in. Or I'm just dumb and making a mistake on stream here. There we go. All right. Oh, we all are, buddy. Sometimes it feels like the machine are our only friends. Okay. Now that should be everything except for I mentioned the SATA cable back here. So that we will plug in. Those are pretty simple. You can't plug it in the wrong way. Well, I say that. Does this one not fit? Okay, that one doesn't fit. Sometimes you have to go to the second one. Someone here is smarter than me and will tell you why. I think this one's specific and maybe an older version and this is not. But that should be everything. Like I said, I'm not going to cable manage this thing because I don't care enough to. But where it's at now, I think if we powered this on, it'll work. So we're going to do that, get it to turn on. And then from there, I'm going to go eat some lunch, guys. I think another day I will test it and do that kind of stuff. I actually have enjoyed having you guys in here. It's been fun. I haven't streamed in years. I'm going to go get a power. Actually, I've got one down here. All right. So big lesson. When you're going to plug in a power supply, make sure that, like, if you've never used it before, it's probably off. It's been a while. I'm fairly positive that the O is off and the dash is on. But that's what I would do just to be safe. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this thing in here, and then we will try to power it up and see how it goes. In older cases with no space, you sometimes have to plug in that CPU power before you put in the motherboard. That would suck. Okay. So, moment of truth. We are going to hit the power button and see if it comes on. All right, let me hear your guys' votes. What are the odds that it does turn on? What do you guys think? Here, I'm going to say 75% chance that it turns on. 25% chance that it does not, that I mess something up. "100% some restrictions apply." 100%, 100%. It'll boot. Oh wow, we've got some confidence here. All right. I'm getting some good information from you. Okay, so you guys 100% think it's going to boot. What about RGB? I'm about 15% confident that that's going to work. So I'll bring my number up to 90% that I think it'll boot. What about the RGB and the fans? I'm going to say 15%. Wait, did we put a drive in it? Yes, we put a drive in it. It's got an NVMe underneath the GPU. Yes, we did. It'll work. All right, guys. Let's go for it then. 3, 2, 1. Ah, we have power. Oh, let me get you guys down here so you can see. You hope it doesn't work. The world needs less RGB. There we go. We've got a working system. Ryzen 550-500 and a 2060. That's not bad. That's actually kind of a good looking case. I like it. I don't like that yellow. I wonder if this has, is this the switch? Oh, that's too much. Oh, way too much. Oh no. Oh no. Can I? Yeah, let's do a single. That's too much. There we go, single red. What do we think of that? Ooh, that's kind of nice, isn't it? I like that. Not bad. All right. Well, off is a good setting. I don't know. If it's not doing too much, I don't mind it. Got your Windows install media? I do. I'm not going to put it on there today. I mean, at some point for you guys, I'll probably learn Linux, but not today. So, all right, guys. Well, that seems like it's a pretty good spot to kind of call it on this one. So for sure what I have lined up is I'm going to do the rock, paper, scissors tournament. Like I said, I've got a newsletter. I should have linked that in here. Maybe I'll link it in the chat. You know what? I need to figure that out. Maybe I should go do that for you guys really quick. Beehives. Because I want you guys to be able to come to that. Let me see, is this it? I think this is it. Yeah, so if you guys want to come be a part of that. So the newsletter it's free, you don't have to pay anything. You can support if you want to financially. But on there, I'm gonna, in a couple weeks, I have to get the finances first to get another SSD, figure out what I'm doing with the build. I am gonna host a rock, paper, scissors tournament to give away the 4790K. I think I'm gonna pair it with this 2060 actually, I'm not sure yet. But if you go to that, that's where I'll update it and I'll actually have a sign up form for you to come out. It's gonna be in Oklahoma, completely free. I think I'm gonna host 16 people for it. So if everyone on here signs up, that's fine. If not, I'll open up to people locally. I imagine Buddy will probably come. I don't know if he will or not. Maybe he will. But if you want to sign up, that's where I update you guys of like updating content, or upcoming content, what's going to come out on the channel. As I've mentioned, having a baby and needing to make money again. So like I have a real business where I own a recruiting company. For now, it's just me. I kind of let that go a little bit to try and do YouTube. Now financially, I'm a little further behind. So I've got to focus on that for a little while, get some money, and, you know, having a 2-month-old and a 2-year-old is really difficult too. So for now, probably just streaming like this, hanging out with you guys is all I can do, because I can do this in 2 or 3 hours. It takes me like 8 to 10 hours to make a video, so I just don't have the time. Did we pick a day? I think it's probably going to be like a month from now on a Saturday or something. It'll be at a community center. I'm going to try to have a couple people there so that, like, if things get a little crazy out of hand, I'm going to try to vet everybody that comes along, make sure that they're safe and all that kind of stuff. Because I know that, like, PC building people can be really shy, kind of nervous about being around other people. So I'm going to try to make it a warm environment. I will probably just stream the event if you guys are okay with that. If you don't really want to be in front of the camera a whole lot, that's okay. I can make that happen. Thanks for the stream. Thank you, Reluctant. Why do I look like Young Nugget? Who's Young Nugget? You know, I just also realized I'm not all the way there. Is Young Nugget a good rapper? Guys, I can rap. I can rap for real. Actually, I used to, believe it or not. I was a young thug, kind of. Anyway, so yes, we will be hosting that. I'm gonna give this one away too at some point. I don't know how, but you know, like I said at the beginning of the stream, so the newsletter has a giveaway that I do every 6 months. And as I grow, it'll be more in between that. But the PC I gave away also, that person lived in Oklahoma, and they gave me this Ryzen 550-500, the case, the 16 gigs of RAM, and the motherboard. They gave me all that stuff. I had no clue they were showing up and giving me that. But when I showed up, they're like, here, I have some stuff for you too. So I wanted to do a stream. Brian will probably watch this at some point. He's an amazing guy, great heart. But I'll probably, before I do that, giveaway, the 4790K stream, I will probably do another video with the 2060 and the 3060 Ti. I'll probably test out some games so you guys can see the Ryzen 550-500. And if you have any other things that, like, you want to see me do, I mean, you saw a lot of the equipment I have. If you have ideas or your question about specific equipment, I'm open to just getting up on stream and hanging out with you guys, so whatever works. But I do have to go eat some lunch. My wife is probably going, what in the world is he doing? Hey, there he is. Oh my gosh, dude, you're crazy. I hope that you guys, I'm going to get his Venmo. I'm going to get his Venmo or something, because I'm not going to share all of his information out there, but the guy is amazing. He's a great guy. And if he lets me, I'm going to put it out there, because he's just a guy that deserves it. So Young Nugget sounds like a McDonald's character, like Grimace in the Hamburglar. Look him up on YouTube. You look like him. I mean, I've also been told a lot of things. I forget all the things that people have said about me. Once I cut my hair, I'll probably look a little different too. I look like a bum. But yeah, I appreciate all of you guys for showing up. I hope that you have a good rest of your day. I hope, you know, for lunch or whatever it was that I got to be here, you guys entertained me, build a PC. Otherwise, I'll catch you in the next video. I think, like I said, we're going to do the 5500 with the 2060, 3060 Ti. Wait, he's about to tell me something. So Brian C is the one who won the giveaway PC, guys. He's the one that gave me this stuff. So you guys all tell him thank you. What? No way. Congratulations. So he and I were just talking about that. We met and talked for like 2.5 hours. Dude, that's awesome. Congratulations. He's the one that showed up and just gave me this stuff for free. What is for lunch? I made a lemon chicken bacon carbonara last night that we're gonna have for lunch. Dude, that's so awesome. I'm excited for you. We'll have to get together. We'll have to get together. I'll meet your wife, you meet mine, you can meet my monster of children. Just kidding, they're awesome. But that'd be cool. Congratulations, man, for real. And you'll have to come out when I host the event where I give away the 4790K, because that's awesome. But yeah, congratulations. Kids are amazing. We already had that conversation. But yes, again, very grateful for all of you guys. I think the next one, like I said, I'll do the 2060, 3060 Ti. If you have some games that you want to see tested on there, leave them in the comments. You can also you could actually leave comments on the newsletter too. So whenever I go to post the next one, I'll let you guys know, like on the newsletter, hey, I'm going to be testing these things. What games would you like to see? Please tell me. It's really good. I was very surprised. I had to zest a lemon, and I've never done that in my life. So yes, I will put that out there. I'm going to be doing the 4790K. I might do some other streams as well. Like, I don't know, I enjoy this. I've missed hanging out with you guys. But otherwise, I got to go. I'm hungry. Again, my wife's probably going, what is he doing? Where's he at? So Thank you guys so much. I will catch you in the next stream. Hope you all have a great rest of your day.